Hello, good evening, all, and welcome back to Sprua Life Coaching. I'm Aarti Bharj. I'm the life transformation coach and a relationship counselor and founder at Sprua Life Coaching. And today I have a very special guest with me, Sharon. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Aarti.
How are
Um,
you?
I'm good. I'm good by the grace of God. And I'm really thankful and privileged to be here with you today, sharing my experiences. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so viewers, as you know, we are still in the COVID-19 pandemic. We have already gone through it for last one full year. And right now the cases are again increasing and we are on the verge of another lockdown. So, Sharon, just to let you know, we started this Coping with COVID-19 series last year from Sprua Life
Right.
Coaching, and it was started to give some positive outlook to all the people, all our viewers and subscribers. And we have been sharing quite a few stories and quite a few messages which will inspire people. And viewers, just to let you know, I got introduced to Sharon on a professional network, and I've heard her story, and I thought that we have to cover this story because it is a real life story of a COVID warrior and a survivor. So I want to congratulate you from Sprualek Coaching and all the readers
Thank you.
and all our viewers. And you have made a miraculous recovery. And really, I want to congratulate you for that, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Aarti. In fact, you used the right word. It was miraculous. It is miraculous, basically, because the amount of time that my entire recovery took was quite surprising, I think, even to the doctors and to me. And that is something that, I would like to share with others because if it can, and I'm sure it can help many people who are going through a similar crisis, maybe with COVID, maybe with other illnesses, maybe with other challenges in life whatsoever. So, a blend of so many different things, which actually finally resulted in something really fantastic and miraculous. And the fact that I'm here and I'm able to speak without any breathlessness, without any trouble or anything immediately post COVID. It's just 2 weeks since I've been back from the hospital, and still. So I think that's a real blessing.
Yeah, yeah, and really, so I would like to know, like, how did it start, and how did you end up having the infection, and you were hospitalized also. I think you
Yes.
were there all
Yes.
alone by yourself. So tell us about that experience and how you have coped up.
Yeah. So actually, I think this is something it's very important to share with all viewers. We always have this thing of ki mujhe nahi hoga. This thought is always there in my mind ki I am doing everything. So
Yeah.
this nothing is going to affect me. I am above everything.
Yeah, and actually, right now, so many people are like running there without mask, and they are like, "Ki,
Right.
okay, it's over. It's not yet over." And therefore, I think it's very important that at this point we share your story
Yes.
and actually how you got it.
True. So I mean, we were all very, very cautious about moving out of the house. Very cautious about every time we come back home. If we've gone out for something really important, we come back home and you know, washing our hands definitely many several times a day. So if we've picked up anything, vegetables, fruits, everything has been cleaned and washed and sanitized. We've always worn masks outside the house.
Yeah.
Even when somebody comes to the door for something like a delivery or something, they've worn the mask and taken things. So we've been so careful. Okay. And during this early part of January, there was a change in the weather. And I picked up, I think it was because of the change, sneezing, and, had a runny nose. So I thought, okay, I will just go to the doctor and take some medication. Uh, I went to a doctor who I didn't really know very well. As in, I normally don't take allopathy. I prefer homeopathy, but I went to the allopath because I wanted a quick cure. And it was as much my fault as his, I guess, that I removed my mask over there in the clinic because he wanted me to, cough just to have an idea of whether my throat was okay or not. And I did that. And I believe that maybe in that process, I must have inhaled,
Yeah.
whatever somebody else's cough, which had already been exhaled before me, probably, because that was the only time I was without a mask out of the house.
Oh,
Otherwise, I'm really very careful. So I think even that, I think you need to be really, really very careful, because I came back home and I quickly had my shower, but I didn't take any steam inhalation, which we've been told is really important, because in case the virus gets in, with the inhalation, you can immediately flush it out of your system, kill it basically. So I didn't do that. And my immunity was already low because I had this cough and cold. I was taking medications which my system is not used to, and which over, I think, a few days weakened me further.
oh,
So it affected my immunity. And a cough and cold is something that you don't really. So it wasn't a cough initially; it was just this cold. But you lose your appetite, and I didn't really feel like eating. The medicines were such which were putting me off to sleep most of the time. I was in a daze, and that affected my immunity further.
yeah.
So I got weaker. And I think by then the virus was already in me. So a few days down the line, I started developing symptoms. So I had fever, I had body ache, I had headache, and I lost my sense of taste, I lost my sense of smell. So name it, and I had it, every symptom. Unfortunately, this doctor whom I was in contact with, I said, nahi, kuch nahi hai. Don't take this COVID thing so seriously. You've not got anything. And this, because I kept asking, do I need to go and test? Do I need to go and get a test? And he said, no. Thankfully, because I was feeling so ill and miserable, I was in my room only. So my interaction with my family or with anybody else outside the house was minimal. I actually didn't interact with anybody else.
Okay.
So I think just my husband, because he would ensure that I was eating sufficiently, yeah. So that was the main thing. That was a good thing in a way, because that restricted me spreading the infection, the virus around to other people.
Yeah, and
And
as you were saying, it's so important to take all these precautions which people have been saying, which the government has been stressing upon so much. And the
right,
small, as you said, the smallest of negligence can cost you so much. Yeah.
exactly, and that really came to light. I mean, I know how all these months, almost a year, we've been so careful about every single thing. And then this was the smallest negligence, if you see, just removing the mask at that point. But it was the worst
Yeah.
thing that I could have done
Not taking
probably.
this steam, not taking this steam.
Yes, that's true.
So you
Yeah,
got
not taking the steam
hospitalized
also.
afterwards.
Yes. So what happened was, thankfully, we changed doctors. I did the RT-PCR test, which proved to be positive. Initially, we thought that I could take the medication at home and be good with it. Thankfully, the doctor whom we consulted with was my sister-in-law's family doctor. Uh, was very clear that you need to get particular tests done, and he referred me. He said, why don't you get this CT scan done and some particular blood test. And
Okay.
that's when we really got a shock, because I guess it was delayed so much. So it's not something like a regular cold, you wish it and it will go away. तो ठीक है, खांसी है, सर्दी खांसी है तो 7 दिन में वैसे भी जाएगा. That is our mindset.
Yeah.
But COVID is not that way. I mean, you cannot fool around with it, you cannot mess around with it.
Yeah, it's a serious business.
I realized that the little delay, Yes, it's serious business because a little delay resulted in my lungs getting affected. So pneumonia, COVID-related pneumonia had already set in. My D-dimer levels, IL-6 levels were very high, which showed that, you know, it was mild sepsis had set in. There was, I mean, you just name it, the whole thing was very messy, basically, from the reports. And this family doctor suggested that, you know, the best thing right now is that you get hospitalized because you need a team of doctors to monitor you.
Yes.
You need somebody to be there around in case, because around, according to his calculations, he said, you know, the 7-8 days pay, if you've not got medication, your immune system can just turn around and hit back at your organs. It's what they call a cytokine storm. And that can be disastrous.
Did you experience that?
Thank God I didn't experience that. So, and that is where, you know, I think for me, faith has really, really helped through it all. So when I heard of this.
In the hospital then?
No, so at this point in time, I was still at home. And then we took a call and I went ahead and got hospitalized. My son was having, his eldest son was having his prelims. And my younger children were having their exams. And I didn't want to just get up and go in the midst of it all, but it was the necessary thing to do. So through their exams, I mean, they managed. So I think it was a good learning experience for the children also. Lesson in maturity. And, you know, true. So yeah, in the hospital, I was alone. You're not allowed visitors. You're nothing of that sort is permitted, especially for COVID.
Yeah.
And I had the option of allowing the entire atmosphere, because it was the first time in my life that I've been alone in a hospital. So the only other times that I can remember being in a hospital has been for my deliveries. And my husband was there with me, or my mom was there with me. So I've not really been alone. And then the babies were there, you know, once they were born. But this was a different experience. And, you know, being constantly linked to a machine, although I didn't need oxygen, but I was under observation at all times. So 4 times a day, you're having your blood sugar tested, blood pressure tested, oxygen levels taken, you know, I mean, everything, all these, and there were so many blood tests and there were x-rays done and everything, because they had to keep monitoring me throughout. And also, it's not easy having, you know, an IV cannula pushed into your skin.
Yeah.
But and it's very painful actually. But I knew if I thought about the pain, then it would only make it worse. And I think this is something even way before I became a life coach. When I had my children, I taught them to mentally overcome the pain.
Oh.
What you give attention to increases. If you think of the pain, it increases. You know? So this is something over the years, it has been ingrained in them. And I just had to apply it to myself. So over the years, I've been very clear. Anytime it's a needle will go through, you will feel it at, you know, the first layer of your skin where you have the touch corpuscles. Below that, you're not going to feel it. So just let it do its job. It's there to do its job. And because I think I have, according to the nurses over there, I have very thin veins. Every day they had to search for a new vein, because by the end of the day, it would get blocked. So once they tried to unblock it, but it was terribly painful, and my whole hand was swollen up and I had to take medication for that. And so it was very, very painful, basically. But
I can totally
learned to
relate to what you are saying, because a couple of years back, I was myself hospitalized. Obviously, COVID was not there, but something else was there. And I had the same issues, that they couldn't find my veins, and my both the hands were totally swollen, and they had become black. but that is the normal procedure that they have to do, and they're
I
trying to help you by.
normal procedure.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So I think through this, what I want to share with our viewers is, see, the important thing is to remember, medicines will work when we are, creating that environment for them to work. The
Yes.
doctors are doing their best. Doctors, nurses, the other healthcare workers, they are doing their best, and it's not easy in the challenges that they are going through in this COVID era. Basically, it's not easy on them also. Uh, I
There are.
realize that humor makes a big difference. Yes. So I used a lot of humor. So every morning when it was time for my medicines to be, put in through the IV, the nurses and I would have a game. Let's see who finds the first usable vein first. So which vein can be used, whether the nurse finds it first or I find it first, because I mean, what do? You have to laugh about it, you have to
Yes.
lighten the atmosphere. Otherwise you're just going to feel miserable, and you cannot afford to feel miserable, because I realize that we are affecting our own bodies that way.
Yeah.
And the more negative you feel, you are preventing that medication from working in your body effectively. It,
So
it will work, but it will take longer.
yeah, if I may interrupt you, what you were doing is consciously practicing positive thoughts and creating a positive
Yes.
environment for the
Environment.
medicines to work on your body.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
So I had, I think, an entire army of people, not just from here, but friends, family members, extended family, people who knew me, say professionally, who were either praying or sending positive vibrations, or from literally all over the world.
Yeah.
And that, I think, it's the law of attraction that we speak of. So for those who don't believe in a god and you believe in the law of attraction, I think it sums up to the same thing, that the universe is there responding to you,
Yeah.
and it responds to the vibes that you send out.
Yeah.
And when I mentioned earlier about the cytokine storm, I don't know, Aarti, if you're aware, but there is a verse in the Bible. There's a story actually in the Bible in which Jesus Christ says, do not be afraid, because I through every storm, basically. Yeah. And I told myself, the moment I heard about the cytokine storm, I said, I don't know what the cytokine storm is, but God has promised that He is going to be there with me through every storm.
Yeah.
And what is a cytokine storm? It will be nothing in front of Him. So I decided at that point in time that I was going to be positive and trust and have faith
Faith.
that this was a lesson. Yeah. So that is what the faith, I think, opens up. That faith and positivity opens up, your entire being to everything positive.
Everything positive.
So
And
yes.
as you
And
were telling your story, actually, it reminds me, because my book Emosil has got published recently, and
recently,
just
yes.
a few weeks we have a fantastic response from all the viewers and readers, and because people are able to relate to those stories which you have
Right.
which we have put forth. And
Yes.
whatever you are telling, actually one of the stories really resonates here. It is a story of a house manager and Archana, and the story is
Mhm.
called Impetus of Existence. And it is a story where she's under tremendous pressure, and due to that her immunity breaks down, and as you mentioned, she ends up in the hospital.
Mhm.
And when she is in the hospital, she is having these thoughts, and when the doctors and nurses are visiting her, actually she is going through a lot of reforms in her mind. And then how she discovers herself
Okay.
is the exact story, and it resonates with you so much, and it's like
So much.
Your story has been
True.
written.
True, really, really.
And then how she
In
finds
fact,
community support, and she then decides that she herself wants to go ahead and what now she wants to contribute something back, and that's really the story.
I think that's ditto my story. I think the only difference in it would be the fact that yes, as a life coach, I have trained and learned, and have already inculcated a number of these teachings in my life.
Yeah,
So, part of our training, as you also know, is that unless you try it out on yourself, you don't really tell
exactly.
clients about it. Yeah. So, another important aspect, because since I'm an emotional intelligence facilitator also, it's an important aspect of emotional intelligence is self-regulation.
Oh yeah,
So it's not that we have only positive thoughts. It's not like I was really all so positive all throughout my time in the hospital. No, you know what is happening. You
it's
know the
not going
pain
to
that you're
happen,
going
right?
through.
It's not practical.
Exactly. It's not practical at all. And there were times when, in fact, there was this one time that there was something really very, very upsetting that happened. And I was at my lowest, really very low. And the nurse had just finished with my evening medication, and and my door was always open. The door to my room, I would always keep it open because I'm a people person. I like to have people around me. So just the fact that the door was open and you have the nurses and the ward boys and everybody passing by, and I would keep saying hi, hello to everyone and chatting with them. But that particular evening, I was so low, I just shut the door and I sat and cried. I just bawled my eyes out. And again, divine intervention. One of my closest friends called at that time just to check on me, and I just said hello. And from the hello, she, recognized that there was something
Yeah.
wrong. For the next minutes, I poured my heart out. And meanwhile, there were generally messages coming in from other friends also, from family members checking in on me. And I think that was it, because during that time, I realized that I'm not alone in this fight. And
Yeah,
it's not
that,
just COVID,
that is
whatever
the
else is
importance
there.
of having a support system in your life. Yeah.
Support system. Yes, yes. So knowing that, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. There are people who care about you, who are there with you, and who will continue to be there for you, whatever challenges you may come across, And that helped me. And she said very clearly, she said, see, Shalini, you've reached till here because you've been positive about it. Don't let other things that have happened pull you down. You
Yeah.
know how to do it. And that's where I think self-management or self-regulation as a part of emotional intelligence, as I said, no, that comes in control, where you learn to be aware and present to whatever emotions you are expressing, you're experiencing, and you choose to go above them and
Yeah.
go beyond them
Go beyond
and
it.
take control of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So that for me, I think, yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No, I
So
was,
yeah, I was saying that for me
saying
was very important.
yeah, I was saying that this whole positive belief system you had and you built and you practiced, but as you very rightly mentioned, too much of positivity is also toxic. It is not going to help, because a lot of people nowadays, they try to stay positive all the while, and they're not really accepting the reality, or not really accepting the
Reality,
fact
exactly.
that we can be vulnerable, and as human beings we are
True,
vulnerable, and it's okay to cry, it's okay to vent out. In fact,
exactly.
that is how you are letting your emotions to flush out of your system, and
Out.
then you
True,
decide what you want to do about it. And that is I think
exactly.
a very good lesson that you have mentioned, that you let it go out first, and then you managed it, and then you converted, like
Yes,
if there was a limiting belief that, oh, what is going to happen to me, you manage to convert it in a positive self belief that I'm going to get through it.
Right, right, right. And through this, you mentioned limiting belief, and it was very true because this particular experience kind of shook me up in a way. And I asked myself, I actually sat, and it led to a lot of reflection. It led to a lot of reflection. And I told myself that, through this, I am going to learn. And what I learn, I'm going to share. And I know it's going to make a difference, not just to me, but my learning and my experience will make a difference, I hope, and to many more people who listen to what I have to share. Because very often we allow ourselves to be caught and bogged down by these limiting beliefs. Maybe, I'm not good enough at this. Maybe I will not be able to go ahead because of this, or because of this illness, or because of that. So since you mentioned this, Aarti, while I was in hospital, I also read about the after effects of COVID, because it's important to be prepared for what happens later. Yes. So I read about it. I spoke to a few friends and acquaintances who had already gone through the experience, although not so serious. Some of them were mild, some were also hospitalized. And they mentioned things like brain fog. They mentioned things like weakness, and a whole lot of other things. And some of the things that I read was pretty scary. And I told myself, I am not going to dwell on what is not happening, because the universe, you'll end up attracting all the negative things. So I'm not even going to dwell on those. But I did, yes, exactly. So that's a message for all our viewers who overthink. You are attracting those things into your life. So be very careful what you think about. And so when I read about brain fog, actually, I even experienced brain fog to some extent in the hospital. And even when I got back home, there was a sense of, the dizziness was there, but also you want to say something and then suddenly you've forgotten what you're saying, or you're thinking about something and then you're confused about it. That sense of I'm there, yet I'm not there, or what am I really doing, or that sense of not being clear about things. Yes. And that's when I realized that what I had learned, about cognitive neuroscience while training to be a life coach, that was very important. In fact, that's how we connected, because you mentioned in about neuroscience and new synapses, neural synapses. And I felt maybe, that is important. So I started on my own reading up different things, trying out different things, because I knew every time I'm trying out something new, I'm forcing my brain to create new neural synapses, new neural pathways, basically. Yes. And then I'm trying to get my brain basically to refocus on things instead of allowing myself to be pulled down by the brain fog. And I think during this time, I read your post on LinkedIn, and I connected with you. And I realized that, okay, I'm on the right path. What I'm doing.
So
and
for the viewers who don't know about it, we are running a series of columns and articles which talks about the brain power, rewiring your brain, and creating new neural pathways. So you can find those on either on my Facebook page or my LinkedIn page, and I will be posting the links over here also. And a lot of people are finding it beneficial to read about it.
I'm sure.
When we are, most of the life coaching techniques are nothing but rewiring your brain. And it is creating new neural pathways, that yes, there is plasticity in the brain. It is not कि हम लोग 40 के ऊपर हो गए तो अभी कुछ नहीं हो सकता. It's not like that. It's very much possible, and you have the living example in front of you today.
In fact, ऐसा सोचना ही नहीं है कि 40 के बाद there's no life. Excuse me. I beg to differ. At 46, I went ahead and did my second master's. And it is a master's in emotional intelligence and life coaching. I completed it at the age of 48. So, I mean, there's this, the sky is the limit. Age is just a number. You just have to believe that you can do it. And there are many people who have asked me, Abhi, after so many years doing, going back to academics must have been very difficult. I found it fun. I found it interesting. And I think I have my degrees and certificates are there to prove. I've been an O-level student all through. So if you really enjoy it, nothing can stop you. And
Yes.
you have to go with that. So if there are any youngsters out here who are watching this, remember, even your studies, your regular studies, you have to get into it with a sense of excitement and enjoyment. If it is ठीक है ये डिग्री कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ because my parents wanted, तो उसमें कोई enthusiasm नहीं है, and then you might as well be 200 years old.
So you have to create that environment for yourself. So it can be studies, it can be fighting a
Yes.
disease, it can be any challenge in your life. You have to create that environment, and you have to have that positive self belief that yes, I am going to get through it, and get the community
Yes.
support. Like we say, the people, like minded people, mastermind, get connected with those people, and consciously surround yourself with people who can give you
Yes.
positive energy. uh, and
Yes.
I would like to read a few lines from my book itself, because your story is reminding me of those, that
Okay.
each adversity in life presents an opportunity for reflection, and that's exactly precisely what you have done. That
True.
you have utilized your time consciously for betterment, and now you are sharing your message with the world. So each
Yes.
adversity in life presents an opportunity for reflection. Every calamity dawns a new cosmos if followed by introspection. And if we appreciate the relevance of our miseries, if we appreciate the relevance of our miseries, they can strengthen us for soaring heights.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I think one of the basic presuppositions of NLP, neuro linguistic programming, is that every obstacle is an opportunity.
Opportunity.
And I think that has been one statement which from the time I heard it, it has transformed my life, because then you look at the world, you look at life so differently.
Yeah.
You tell yourself that I mean, there's so much of struggle in the world, and imagine if you look at every struggle, every obstacle as a chance to grow better and move higher and make a difference to the world, basically. So as you said initially, it's a miraculous recovery. Yes, it is a miracle, and miracles happen when you are open, when you are ready to create that environment, welcoming the power of the Almighty, the supernatural, the
Yeah.
power of the universe, all the positive vibrations, the prayers, everything. If you are not in that right frame of mind, then you can have everybody praying for you, but it won't make a difference. You can have the best of doctors and you will still not get okay,
Yes.
the way you should.
Yeah.
So that is
In
important. Yeah.
this book, there is a doctor's diary also, which is a diary of a frontline doctor. And as you very rightly said, we have couple of stories there, like the stories where an aged woman has
Mhm.
got it and she has recovered, but a man, because he believed that there is nothing to look forward in life, and he has given up all the hopes, and
Right.
ultimately he has succumbed to the infection.
Right.
So
That's right.
it's how you portray yourself, how you paint your picture. And as a transformation coach, I come across these stories almost every day, where people are just expecting magic to happen, and the
Happen.
magic is not going to happen just like that. It is you who have
You
to
have to work on it.
you
Absolutely.
have to work towards it, and then the miracle is going to happen. Then
Yes.
Jesus bolo, whoever, whichever entity you believe in, or just the collective consciousness of the universe, that is going
Right.
to be there for you. But you have to take the first step, and you
Without
have to.
without the foundation, that basic groundwork, you cannot build a building.
Yeah. And
So
and
that
you
is
have to believe, yeah, you have to believe that
yes,
yes, this is going to happen. Otherwise, no matter how many people are there to help you, let it be healers or doctors or coaches or
true,
psychologists, it is not going to help you unless you yourself decide to step up.
right.
So I think
So
that,
yeah, that in fact that I think is a very important point that you mentioned here, because in life coaching, very often you see, not only in life coaching, I think anywhere in life, people talk about, this doctor is not effective or that, or this particular, even teachers, that sense of accountability is not there. What am I doing towards it? How am I contributing towards my own growth? And life
yes,
coaching is believes that the power is there within you to transform yourself.
yeah, yeah,
So you have to step up to it. You have to take accountability for your actions, and you have to be willing to make that change. Only if you believe that yes, I can do this, and I am ready to work on it, and I'm ready to change, and it's not something which will happen instantly. So very often, even when I'm speaking to clients, they think कि अच्छा ठीक है, कितना जल्दी हो जाएगा, कितना जल्दी हो जाएगा, मतलब
they are running with that problem for years and they want
years.
to get fixed in just like 2 or 3
Exactly. So then I tell them that, see, behavior change takes a minimum of 3 months, 3 to 6 months, if you put your 110% into it.
yes,
And how many of us are really, especially, you're a relationship counselor, I'm a relationship coach. And we know in relationships, it's always somebody else's problem. Mera to problem nahi hai.
yeah,
So unless we take responsibility for the fact that, I need to work on myself also, and whatever I see as a fault in the other person is because there is something in me which is craving for something different.
yeah,
And
and
unless I do that healing, वो नहीं हो जाएगा.
exactly.
So,
And as humanitarian psychologists have always said that I'm not going to fix you because you are not broken. You know what
exactly.
you want to do in life and you know what is the best path for yourself. I'm just going to walk with you, or I'm just going to show you the mirror as a coach. I'm going to show you the mirror, but you have to be ready to look into the mirror. And
True.
the reflection that you see, you have to be brave enough to accept that yes,
Accept it.
this can be me
Yes.
and I need to change. Then only the
True. Very true.
transformation can happen.
Very true.
Yeah.
True.
So it was
So uh,
lovely.
I think
But I want
I
you
think
to
yeah.
ask about the affirmations. Were there particular affirmations which you were doing?
Um, I don't know whether you would call them an affirmation, but yes, there was this one verse. Again, I don't know, maybe it's because you know, I've always been in this very spiritual environment. For me, it's a verse from the Bible. And I would pray that. So my mother and a few other close people have been praying that regularly through the time that I was in the hospital. And I would also pray that for me. And it just says very simply, heal me, O Lord, and I will be healed. Save me, O Lord, and I will be saved, for you are my praise. So just believing in the healing power of God, that's it. I think that was the only, and you could call it an affirmation. It is a verse from the Bible, but that is something that I kept saying every night. And I think whenever I was free, there's a lot of prayer that I've been involved in also, in fact, during this process, and a lot of self reflection. Um, I think this entire experience has shown me different options, different things that I can also do. So, I feel suddenly a whole different world has opened up, which I've never even thought of earlier.
Yes.
So that's good, because I've learned there are other talents and other things connected to this, that to what I'm already doing as a life coach, that I could probably do to reach out to more people and serve more people. Definitely. For those who didn't get my whole name, I'm Sharon D'souza-Pretto. I don't think we had introduced the name initially. So my full name is Sharon D'souza-Pretto, and like Aarti, who is a transformation coach, I am a an emotional intelligence facilitator. So I take workshops on emotional intelligence, and I'm also a relationship coach. So I
Yeah.
help people
And
with their
I think
relationships.
whatever has happened, maybe this whole experience happened so that you can share your story with the world.
Yes,
maybe,
probably, yes.
maybe that is a very positive thing about it.
Yes, of course, of course. I mean, it is almost serendipity how we connected on LinkedIn. That reading about your article on neuroplasticity, and me practicing it at the same time, and me getting in touch with you, sharing my story, and this entire
That
interaction happening.
is how,
Yes,
like, if you are having just a very positive approach towards everything, that is how the synchronicity in the universe really works.
happens.
That yeah,
True,
you get, and you don't have to do a lot of effort. You get connected to people, and suddenly things start appearing in your life. So
yes.
it was really very helpful, and I think our viewers would have got a lot of messages, because this is a real life story. And lot of times people still come and ask that what is life coaching about, and why do I need the life coaching. And you can see today a real life example that how these things help, and these things are very subtle. They are
True.
not key. You cannot jot it down on a piece of paper and say it. It is that you have to experience it.
And you have to work personally on it. You
Yeah.
have to put your 110% into it,
Yes.
to change your mindset, to change your attitude, to change the way you look at life, basically.
Yeah. So
So,
we'll be sharing our contact details, Pro Life coaching details. We'll be sharing details of Sharon also. And if you would like to get in touch with us, do that. And this video will be making it available on Pro Life Coaching Facebook page, as well as it will be available on Pro Life Coaching English YouTube channel. And so that whoever is not on Facebook, they can also have a look at it. So share it with your friends, and share it with other people. And I think there is a lot to learn. We are not trying to, because this is not, we are not trying to teach anything. We are just sharing what we have learned. And
right.
she has been a warrior herself, and she has been brave enough to come and share her story with a very candid note. So I'm really thankful to you, Sharon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aarti, for this opportunity to share my story. I think it's been a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to you also.
It's my pleasure. So I have a poem on affirmations, because I think
Okay.
it's a very important thing to do the affirmations. And if you can do it rightly, and you don't have to do a lot of affirmations, but as you said, you were just doing maybe one or two. And
Right.
if you are doing with a conviction, they are really going to help.
Yes.
So this is not my poem. I've read it somewhere. I'm just sharing that it says that chant that you are brave, chant that you are brave, even as your body begins to quake. Exclaim that you need not be saved. Exclaim that you need not be saved, because you yourself are the savior. Endeavor to alter your own fate. Affirmations deserve more credit. Say anything enough and you will believe. Because your brain is not that smart as you think. It is pretty dumb, and your brain and mind really believes whatever you say again and again. So say anything enough and you will believe. And
Believe
it's
it.
wholly possible to edit. A new response to fear needs to be conceived. A new response to fear needs to be conceived. Therapy is not at my beck and call, but willpower will help me revive. Prevent me from facing a deserty fall, a pivoting, a terminating device. Chant that you are brave, chant that you are brave, even as your body begins to quake. Endeavor to alter your own fate, and endeavor to alter your own fate. And I think that is the message today for everybody, from her story, and from all who are listening to this and who will watch this afterwards also, that you are the master of your own fate. And if you decide, there is nothing stopping you. Not even a life threatening disease can stop you. So thank you,
True.
Sharon, for being there with us, and thank you all the viewers.
You're welcome.
Take care. Do practice the regulations which the government is asking us to,
Please do. Yes.
and do not allow any negligence to have a havoc on your health. And do read my book Emozil. You will find a lot of interesting real life stories in that. They are all the stories are based on real life experiences, and the book is available on Amazon, and it is available as an ebook also on Google Play Books. So do share your feedback about this video as well, and do share it
Yes.
with lots of your friends and relatives who can get benefited by it. So everybody take care. Bye bye. And this is Aarti Bharj signing off from Spruha Life Coaching. Thank you once
Yeah.
again, Sharon, for
Bye.
joining us.
Thank you, Aarti. Yeah. Bye bye.
Good night. God bless you.
Good night. Yeah. Bye bye.